As far as the roving eye is concerned, that chapter is primarily on, like I said, 24 by 7. There is always excitement inside the ops room. If you have seen recent incident where the Indigo aircraft landed up in that hailstorm because the Pakistan did not provide that he should go across, and these kind of things keep happening in peacetime. There are so many times that the Pakistani aircraft have come inside our territory, or some of our aircraft has strayed into this thing. Then there's their recovery. Then this thing. Then our aircraft, getting lost, and then getting them. So all these interesting anecdotes, primarily from various people, those who have. So those are the one which are under the roving eye. Roving eye primarily is because you are under watch all the time. Roving eye is primarily to the fighter controllers who are doing that 24 by 7 watch. And in that watch, there's so many things keep happening, which doesn't come to the public notice, but they are of great importance and significance. So that is what in that chapter I have.
Very rightly, you said roving eye, 24/7 surveillance. I've just written an article. I think it'll go on publication. This is regarding, an aircraft, Lufthansa aircraft, Boeing 747, somewhere in the 90s. I happened to be in one of the ADDCs. I found that, there was a huge cloud picked up on its route. As a practice, as a regulation, there every flight that enters our ADIZ or defense identification zone. So when he asked me this, I noted down. We correlated, identified him. I asked him. I said, "Do you pick up any cloud patch en route?" To this, he said, "No significant return from on my radar." So this roving eye is also, I think, very revealing, cases, that you have brought out in this. And finally, the crystal gazing, when you say, the challenges in the future, if you could spell out on that. The biggest challenge, I think, now we started facing is this drones or UAVs.
Yes, the idea of this book was, this particular chapter in the book was that I tried to figure out what are the going to be challenges, particularly from the air defense aspect, and that how we are going to face these challenges in near future in terms of the weapons that could be very, very difficult to detect. Like there would be hypersonic weapons, there'll be ballistic missiles, there'll be cruise missiles. Those will be difficult to detect unless you really have systems which are primarily meant for this, and we have the inadequacy of these systems, as happened in this war. Like if you see from Pakistan side, the launches that we have done of cruise missiles, there was no defense because they could not have been picked up. So all these challenges I had brought in there, and there was primarily first thing that I discussed about is the doctrinal shift that has come in the air warfare because of the drones now becoming the very, very big contributory to the warfare. And we've seen this precisely, that's what has happened. So, whatever that I talked about, that what future warfare is going to be, and what are the challenges going to be, that came to surface in this warfare. And this article on drone doctrinal shift because of the drones, I had written for a strategic digest about 2 years back, and I had talked about all these the various roles of the drone and how this is going to actually shape up the future and going to change the complete doctrine of the war. And I have taken it from that itself because we had seen this happening. We had made sure from that time also, I've been, while I was in service, I had also started telling people that drone is going to be your one of the major challenge. And one of the discussion that time was drone will be only wherever it comes, it is going to be a local threat. And therefore, like in Air Force parlance also, the let base administration handle it rather than the air defense. And I had put it down even that time that drone is going to be the responsibility of the air defense. You cannot shirk this responsibility away to the base administration. And it has proven now in this time, right from you had drones all over, entire AD systems were utilized to neutralize these drones. So in this chapter, I have talked about what are going to be our challenges, what should we do to mitigate those challenges, and what should be our requirement to whether in terms of resources or in terms of training or in terms of employment of fighter controllers and other professional crew. So that's a part of this chapter.
So I'm sure the challenges are going to be immense while detecting these, and at the same time, maybe it's an advantage also, as an APAR, as an offensive component. Just your thought on, we're talking now about the stealth technology. And everything is, I mean, fifth generation and sixth generation fighters, the kind of challenge that is going to pose to the air defense. So what do you have to say on this? Is it really something that the
It,
stealth technology cannot be countered?
No, it can be countered. In fact, in my last chapter again, the crystal gazing, I've talked about this. That these are the challenges. Your stealth aircraft are challenge. Your not only stealth, is the hypersonic weapons are your challenge, because you've got a very minimal time available to you, and on top of that, if you have the stealth technologies, then it's very difficult to counter. But there are a lot of technologies available today. There are radars which are meant. There are VLF radars. There are HF radars which are now. Earlier the purpose was very different, but now those radars and those technologies are now being utilized to detect the stealth aircraft. In fact, the one of the radars that we took out this time in Chunia radar was basically a anti-stealth radar, and that is why that particular radar was taken out. China has these technologies. China has these radars. Then there are quantum radars that are on the anvil, which again some sources say that China already has mastered that technology, and so have Americans. But the quantum radar per se hasn't come out in open yet. But there are technologies, because this will keep happening. That it's a
Cat and
cat and
mouse.
mouse.
Hmm, hmm.
So, but there are technologies and they are being developed. Even our indigenous technology is also in that direction, and I'm sure we will be able to, develop those.
So I'm sure every challenge has a solution, and so is it always. Is a, like you said, cat and mouse race. So there will be challenges. At the same time, there will be solutions also found to that. So it's been wonderful talking to you on your book, The Invisible Warriors. And like I said, the book couldn't have come out at a better time. So with this, let me thank you very much. And I do hope that, not only I hope, I'm very sure that it's going to benefit a whole lot of the new generation of fighter controllers and the public at large in understanding the importance of the role of fighter controller, fighter controlling in the overall game of air defense. So thank you once again. It's been wonderful speaking to you. And thank you for
You, sir.
sparing your time.
The idea was come out with a book which can be a reference book for the future generation of fighter controllers, compiling every details, and also for the earlier generation fighter controllers to know and revive their memories that as they have gone past. So thank you, sir. It has been a really wonderful.
Thank you, sir, very much. It's been wonderful always speaking to you.